Most people wake up and immediately grab their phone. Before they've even taken a deep breath, their mind is already drowning in someone else's life, someone else's problems, someone else's opinions, someone else's pace. And without realizing it, they've already surrendered the day. There's no direction, nor is there clarity, just a fog of distractions, noise, and mental clutter, all before their feet have even touched the ground. But here's the truth. The way you speak to yourself in the first 10 minutes of your day shapes everything. Your mood, your mindset, your decisions, even your identity. Your mornings aren't throwaway or easy hours. You had enough rest. Your mornings are the launch pad, the catapult, for you to become the sharpest, strongest version of yourself. And if you've been waking up feeling lost, anxious, unfocused, or just numb to your own goals, this video is your reset. Because you don't need more empty motivation. You need a code, a script, a ritual that aligns your mind before the world can hijack it. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 powerful things you should tell yourself every single morning. Not just to feel better, but to become mentally sharper, emotionally unshakable, and ruthlessly focused on your mission. Master this, and mornings won't just feel different, your entire life will. So don't hesitate to come back to this video every single morning. Let it remind you of who you are. Let it set the tone for a day worth living. Because how you start your day is how you shape your destiny. Let's get into it. The first thing to tell yourself every morning is, I do hard things because they make me stronger. Most people start their mornings by running from difficulty. They hit snooze, they scroll. They delay the very things that would make them sharper. And why? Because comfort whispers to them. It tells them they deserve to ease into the day. That pressure can wait. That discomfort isn't necessary. But if you want to become someone truly powerful, someone other men respect and life can't break, you need to flip that script. The savage man, the anti-fragile man, doesn't avoid hard things. He hunts them. He knows that pressure is the price of strength, that nothing real is built in comfort zones, that every challenge, every moment of resistance is an opportunity to level up. So every single morning before the day tries to control you, say this to yourself: I do hard things, and mean it. I make the hard call. I have the uncomfortable conversation. I go to the gym when my mind says stay in bed. I sit with the silence when distraction calls. Not because I enjoy the pain, but because I know it's sculpting me into someone rare. See, most people only push themselves when they feel motivated, but motivation fades. What doesn't fade is identity. And when you start identifying as someone who does hard things, no matter how you feel, you become the kind of man people can't predict and life can't defeat. The next time something feels difficult, good. Let that be the sign you're exactly where you need to be. Because struggle isn't a setback. It's the signal, the forge, the fire. And when you lean into it instead of running from it, you realize something most people never will. You don't get strong by avoiding the storm. You get strong by walking straight through it and coming out sharper on the other side. Number 2, you should say, my focus is my power. I will guard it with my life. Now that you've anchored your mindset in discipline, in choosing hard things over comfort, it's time to move into the next pillar of transformation, your focus. Because once you've committed to doing hard things, the real battle becomes what you choose to do, why you do it, and how you protect your attention from being stolen. And in this world, that's not a small fight, it's a war. You have to understand something most people never stop to question. The world is designed to hijack your attention. It's not neutral. It's not passive. Every time you unlock your phone, open your laptop, or step into the noise of the day, there's an entire system trying to scatter your mind. Notifications, gossip, trends, outrage, and clickbait. It's all engineered to make your attention serve someone else's agenda. So each morning, you need to remind yourself, my focus is my power. And I don't give it away cheaply. You don't owe anyone an instant reply. You don't need to open every message, entertain every emotion, or know what everyone else is doing. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know your direction. Because a man with no focus is a man with no future. When your attention is fractured, your life is too. You may think you're staying busy, but you're actually staying distracted. You're mistaking motion for progress, and over time that's what kills potential. But the man who guards his focus, he becomes lethal, because he's no longer reacting to life, he's creating it. So build filters around your mind, decide who gets your attention, decide what earns your energy, let silence be your default, and purpose be your compass. Because when you control your focus, you control your outcomes. And when you control your outcomes, you become dangerous. This isn't just about being productive, it's about becoming someone the world can't distract, because you've already decided who you are and what you came here to do. Number 3. Every morning tell yourself, today is all I have. I will live it like it matters. We all say things like, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get to it later. And deep down, we believe we'll have another shot, another Monday, another chance, another year. But what if we don't? What if all you have, all you've ever had, is today? We talk about time like it's this endless stream, like it's waiting patiently for us to get serious. But the truth is, time doesn't wait. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't pause for your comfort. It moves. And if you don't move with it, you get left behind. Every day you wake up, you're being handed something sacred, a blank page, a reset, an invitation to become what you were meant to be. But most people waste that page, scrolling, complaining, postponing, pretending, not because they're lazy, but because they've forgotten how rare today really is. This day will never come again. You'll never be this version of yourself again. The sun will rise and fall, and you will either use it to grow, or you'll look back wishing you had. So every morning, remind yourself, today is all I have, and I will live it like it matters. I will say what needs to be said, even if it makes me uncomfortable. I will take the first step, even if I'm not ready. I will show up, even if I'm tired, even if I'm afraid, because this day is my proof. Proof that I'm not just existing, proof that I'm evolving, proof that I refuse to waste this gift by acting like there's always more time. Living like today matters doesn't mean rushing. It means intentionality. It means presence. It means asking yourself every morning, what would I do if this were the last day I had to show the world who I really am? Because here's the truth most people avoid. The clock is ticking. And you don't rise by waiting for a better time. You rise by deciding this moment is enough, and you are enough to meet it. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for permission. Start living today like the miracle it actually is. Because when you treat each day like it matters, you won't just make progress, you'll transform. And that's when everything begins to change. 4. I'm not who I was yesterday. Today, I begin again. There's a quiet pain that most men carry. The weight of who they used to be. A mistake they can't let go of. A moment where they fell. An identity they built in survival mode, but never stopped to question. Here's the brutal truth. Most men live inside a version of themselves that expired years ago. Not because they're incapable of change, but because they've convinced themselves that growth is for other people. That once you've failed, it defines you. That the past is a prison you can't outgrow. But that's a lie, and you have to be the one to reject it. You are not the version of yourself who made that bad decision, stayed too long, gave too much, or didn't speak up. You are in motion, you are in progress. And that progress, no matter how slow, is sacred. So every morning, speak this truth into your own mind. I'm not who I was yesterday. Today, I begin again, stronger, clear-minded, focused. Maybe yesterday you were distracted. Maybe you let emotion override reason. Maybe you slipped into comfort, silence, or shame. But that's done now. That chapter closed the moment you opened your eyes today, because every single morning, life gives you an opportunity to rewrite the story, to break the old pattern, to act in alignment with the man you're becoming, not the one you've been told to remain. And yes, growth is not a perfect, straight climb. There will be days where you slip, days where you question yourself. But what's important is that you never give up. 5. My energy is sacred. Not everyone gets access. Once you understand how powerful your attention is, you stop giving it away so easily. You stop entertaining every drama. You stop reacting to every opinion. You stop explaining your silence to people who never earned your presence in the first place. Because here's the hard truth. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not your time, not your energy, not your emotional bandwidth. Most men fall apart not because they're weak, but because they're exhausted from being too available, too open to every distraction, too reactive to every emotion, too willing to carry other people's chaos as if it were their own responsibility. But the moment you wake up and remind yourself, my energy is sacred, everything changes. You stop trying to fix people who don't want to grow. You stop explaining your boundaries to people who only see them as obstacles. You stop pouring into conversations, relationships, and environments that drain you and call it loyalty. Your energy is your currency, and every morning you wake up with a limited amount of it. You can use it to build your vision, strengthen your mind, and sharpen your soul. Or you can waste it scrolling endlessly, arguing about nothing, reacting to people who don't matter in the long run. The savage man, the anti-fragile man, doesn't apologize for guarding his energy. He doesn't explain why he's unavailable. He doesn't chase people who left. He doesn't feel bad for being selective. Because he knows what he's building requires clarity, not chaos. This doesn't mean you become cold or emotionless. It means you become intentional. You decide where your energy flows and you make no excuses for it. So every morning, remind yourself, not everyone gets access. Not every situation deserves a reaction. Not every invitation deserves a yes. You don't owe the world your presence, especially when it's costing you your peace. This is how you build something real. You protect your internal world so fiercely that only what strengthens you is allowed in. And everything else? You let it fade, silently, without guilt, because your mission is too important to be diluted by distraction. And the man who learns to protect his energy doesn't just become stronger, he becomes untouchable. These aren't just affirmations, they're reminders of the man you're becoming, not the version the world conditioned you to be, but the one who moves with quiet strength, sharp intention, and unshakable purpose. So tomorrow morning, before the noise pulls you in, before the world steals your focus, reclaim your mind. Watch this again. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you of who you are and what you came here to do. Because each morning is a test. And each morning you have a choice. Drift or dominate. Survive or become. And if you're still here, I know this message landed. So let me ask you, which of these 5 truths hit you hardest today? Drop it in the comments. Let's sharpen each other and grow together. And if this resonated, subscribe to Stoic Clarity, not for the algorithm, but because you're ready to stop living on autopilot and start living at your full potential. Stay focused, stay dangerous, and never forget, the world hasn't seen the real you yet, but it will.